Good day. This is meteorologist John DeFleury on the night watch at the Fleetweather Ocean Riding Center in New York. Today is Friday, October 7th at around 6:10 GMT, and welcome to the latest Fleet Weather connection, where today we'll be focusing on heavy weather in the North Atlantic. Starting with the satellite overview, we can take a look at a few of the main features that we'll be discussing in today's video, starting with Tropical Depression 13, which is located just to the south of Aruba. This system is expected to move generally to the west-northwest across the Guajira Peninsula of Colombia before entering into the southwestern Caribbean Sea, where the system will begin to move more westward as it makes its way towards the Nicaraguan coast. The next feature I wanted to point out briefly is the remnants of Tropical Depression 12 located here. We can see that this system has very little convection left associated with it, and due to that, NHC on their latest advisory for the system has downgraded it to a remnant low. And as the system moves westward, the system is expected to completely dissipate through later today. Now, taking a closer look at Tropical Depression 13, we can see that the convective activity associated with this system has increased pretty rapidly over the past few hours. And it's due to that enhanced convection that NHC has upgraded this system now to a tropical depression. Now, as the system moves to the west, we do expect the conditions overall to become more favorable for further development. So as it moves away from land, the system will move over very warm waters in the southwestern Caribbean Sea in a very low shear environment. So that should allow for some very steady intensification of the system. Now, the overall track of this system is going to be dominated mostly by this upper level ridge. As we can see here, extends from the western North Atlantic across the Gulf of Mexico and northern Caribbean Sea. The system is going to move along the southern periphery of this ridge through at least the next 72 hours or so. And then once it nears the coast of Nicaragua, it'll get kind of to the western periphery of that ridge, and the system can begin to turn a little bit more to the north and west. So here's the GFS ensemble members for this system, the ensemble tracks. We can see a very tight clustering of the tracks through at least the next 48 hours or so. And then once the system gets into the more of the central southwest Caribbean Sea here, there is a little bit more northwest spread, especially to the north. We can see a few members turning a little bit to the north and west a bit quicker. And these members overall, they're some of the stronger members in terms of strength of the system overall, turning the system to the northwest a little bit quicker than the weaker ones, which keep it more westward. Here's the European ensemble members. Again, a very similar track and tight clustering for this ensemble. But we don't really see any of those more northerly outliers like we saw in the GFS. That's mostly due to that the Euro is keeping the system quite a bit weaker. So we're not really having any of those earlier turns to the north and west, mainly all just keeping it on a westward track towards Nicaragua. Here's the official track from NHC, very similar overall to both of the ensembles. We can see a steady intensification as well, reaching hurricane force sometime by Saturday PM, the evening of Saturday the 8th, and then maintaining hurricane strength through arrival in Nicaragua sometime on Sunday morning. Now just taking a look at this system on the latest run of the GFS. Again, we can see once the system reaches the open waters in the southwestern Caribbean, will begin to intensify pretty quickly overall, and then continuing more westward, making landfall in central Nicaragua. this run of the GFS has it making landfall just around 12Z on the 9th, and then after which making more of that northwesterly turn like we saw in most of the ensemble members. Elsewhere in the North Atlantic, um, especially in the central North Atlantic, weather is going to be pretty benign overall, as we have a broad area of high pressure dominating most of the central North Atlantic, causing some light conditions overall. So that's good. In that area, highest and heaviest weather is going to be on the northeastern North Atlantic, currently off west of the coast of Ireland on the British Isles. We have large area of rough to very rough seas, peaking out at 6 to 7 meters. But those conditions are going to gradually abate through Saturday. But then we do have another gale system developing following that into Sunday, moving across Iceland up into the Norwegian Sea. We'll have another area of rough to very rough seas. Those conditions will build possibly to high sea conditions with 8 to 9 meter seas possible northwest of the British Isles. And then that'll move eastward into the northern North Sea and Norwegian Sea by early next week. Well, that will conclude today's North Atlantic Weather Short. Once again, this is John DeFleury from the Fleetweather Ocean Routing Center. Stay connected and safe.